The Philadelphia 76ers starting lineup looks lethal on paper, but I think it's going to be a different story on the court. What is up, basketball fans, 76ers fans, LeBron fans, shout out to my San Antonio Spurs fans. Welcome to TSR Sports with LeBron James in Philadelphia and Jaylen Brown there. I see a lot of people crowning them as the NBA champions next season. And I have two reasons that I do not think next season is going to play out like most people expect. Let's start with the obvious one, age and injuries. This is Joel Embiid, and he is the definition of injured. You look at his last three seasons, games played 39, 19, 38. He has played in 96 out of a possible 246 regular season games. He's played 96 and missed 150. Now, I will concede when he's healthy, still a top 10 player in the NBA. When healthy, which is almost never these days, and he's clearly trending in the wrong direction as he approaches his age 32 season. Now, in regards to LeBron James, the King, or Burger King, depending on your point of view. First, let's absolutely give credit where credit is due. What he's doing at 40 plus years of old is absolutely phenomenal to play at the level that he is. Give credit where credit's due. However, he has missed some time in the last 8 seasons, all with the Lakers, by the way, and he's going to be 42 next season. Season number 24. By the way, that goal there is the NBA record for games played, which he's just going to keep adding to. But season number 24. That is a lot of years. That is a ton of years and a lot of miles on that body, including the zillion playoff games that he has been in. Father Time is likely to win sooner than later. I'm sure a lot of people talk about the age and injuries, LeBron James' age, the injuries with Joel Embiid, which everybody knows about that if you follow any basketball whatsoever. I want to talk about the biggest issue, which is neither one of those. Those are issues, but the other issue, I guess it's 3 issues, age, injuries, is this. This is the projected starting lineup for next season. This looks great, right? Embiid at center, James at power forward, Brown at small forward, Edgecombe at shooting guard, and Maxey at point guard. Yeah, that looks absolutely solid from 1 to 5. I won't argue with you there. However, last season, the 76ers team as a whole averaged 90.3 field goal attempts per game. The whole team. That's everybody. That's their starters. That's the bench players. That's everybody. That's an average throughout the season. 90.3. All right. Let's look at the field goal attempts for each one of these players last season. A little over 18 for Embiid, 15 for LeBron as he took a step back in his role in the offense with the Lakers. Brown, almost 22 a game. Edgecombe, about 14. You're going to want to think Embiid is going to want to take more shots in his sophomore year, is he not? And Tyrese Maxey with over 21 attempts per game. The reason I'm showing this is, you remember I said 90.3 for the entire team. Entire Sixers team last year took 90.3 shots a game. This amount right here between these 5 players, the projected starting lineup, is 90.4 field goal attempts per game. About the same for these 5 players as the entire team last year with a 9, 10, or 11-man rotation. My point here, and this is why I don't think this is going to work in Philly, is you have too many guys here that want the ball in their hands. Embiid, Brown, Maxey, and even LeBron. LeBron's still going to be a facilitator, is he not? So who's going to give up the rock to make this work? I think we're going to have too many guys that are going to play hero ball when this lineup's on the floor. And what this lineup on the floor, let's be honest, is not going to be on the floor for 82 games. I could see this lineup playing 25 to 30 games in the regular season. I do think if they're healthy, that will see this entire lineup for the playoffs, and that's probably going to be Philly's plan. They have no aspirations of playing Joel Embiid 82 games, LeBron 82 games. You're probably going to see a lot of load management, or i.e. soft tissue injuries just popping up left and right where these guys are missing games, and they're going to want them good to go for the playoffs. But I don't see this working in the playoffs. The hero ball thing's going to happen. Embiid's going to want the ball in his hands. Brown's going to want the ball in his hands. Maxey's going to want the ball in his hands. And James probably going to be that guy too. He's not going here to be, the 5th option on the team, is he? Or maybe he is. He's never been the 5th option on a team. He's used to being the guy, or as his career progressed in LA recently, the second guy. I don't see this working. You have a lot of good pieces there. But how many times in the last few years or last decade or decades have we seen teams assemble a bunch of good players? Follow Kevin Durant's career and James Harden's career if you really want a lot of examples, where they take all these pieces and think just throw them together, it's going to complete a puzzle. And then when you look at the puzzle, it makes no sense. And I think that's the situation we're going to have here in Philly. You have a lot of great players. You have one of the greatest of all time in LeBron James, a future Hall of Famer in Joel Embiid, probably future Hall of Fame in Jaylen Brown if they keep playing, if Maxey keeps projecting like he is, maybe the future Hall of Fame. This is an absolute bona fide starting lineup via name power. But I don't think the chemistry is going to be there. And I think this is going to end up being another failed LeBron James super team. He's been on a lot of them, a ton of them, quite a few with the Lakers. Anthony Davis, him and Russell Westbrook, him and Luka Doncic. And they've only got one championship in the 8 years he was there. And I see this being an exciting thing for fans to see and speculate on. But in the end, it's going to be a failure. And I think this lineup is overrated. If this lineup had a healthy Joel Embiid from 5 years ago, LeBron James from, say, a decade ago at this point, sure, I'd say crown him. Who the heck is beating that lineup? But that's not the case. You have a north of 30 Joel Embiid, who's injury prone. You have a LeBron James that's north of 40, and his best days, with all due respect to the fans that might be watching this, are behind him. He's not the guy that he was 10 years ago. He's certainly not the guy that he was in his late 20s. He's not the guy that was with the Heatles. It's going to be fun to watch this play out. Not going to lie. And maybe I'll do another video on this in the future. I don't know, but I think it's going to be fun to see what they do, and they are going to win some games. They're going to get to, no doubt they make the playoffs. I think they peak Eastern Conference Finals. If they do get to the NBA Finals and win it all, then I'll revisit this video in a year and say, boy, was I wrong, and they proved me wrong, and congratulations to Sixers fans. My uncle's a Sixers fan, so he'd be the first one to be congratulating, and I'd be congratulating the social media second. But I don't think this lineup works due to the amount of guys that want the ball in their hands. In my experience as an NBA fan, when you have a lot of guys on a team that want the ball in their hands, something usually goes wrong. I think it's going to go wrong for Philly. All right. Do you agree or disagree with everything I just said? Are you looking at this saying, TSR, you're crazy? This is the best team in the Eastern Conference, bar none, and they will be in the NBA Finals, Eastern Conference Finals at minimum, which I did say too at least. Or do you agree? Do you agree that, you know what? Maybe on paper this looks fantastic, but this team chemistry ain't going to work. You're going to have guys that want the ball. You're going to have 2 or 3 guys on the court that want the ball for a clutch shot, and I don't see. Something, my gut's telling me this won't work from watching so many super teams being thrown together and trying to make them work. I think this is going to fall in line of one of the greatest super teams on paper of all time, but also one of the biggest disappointments of all time. That's all I got. Let me know in the comments where you stand on this team. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and you want to help support the channel, and subscribe for more good or bad takes depending on your opinion. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs go.